Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And since it is close to the end of the year, I wanted to spend some time to look back at everything that I've done this year and just see how far I've come. 2024 was a huge year for me in terms of launching my online business, taking part in markets and events, and of course, working on commissions. For this video specifically, I wanted to focus on the artwork that I've created throughout 2024. So I'm going to rate my top 10 favorite artworks that I've made this year, and it includes both traditional and digital art. And of course, for each piece, I will specify something that I like about it and something that I wish I did differently. Let's jump right into it. Starting off with number 10, we have this one here. This is Dawn and her Pokemon partner Piplup from Pokemon, and I love how I did the background, the bubbles in the background, but unfortunately, you can see, like, if you look closer, I know it's hard to see on camera, but there are some streaks that are left behind when I use alcohol markers. I'm not very good at using alcohol markers. I think this was my second attempt at using the markers. Just wanted to try something new. So I gave that a try, but I noticed that, yeah, it leaves some streaks behind. Maybe it's because I'm not coloring fast enough or something. I'm not too sure. But other than that, I think it's really, really cute. I love the way I designed her, and the way she's holding little Piplup is just adorable. Number 9 is a digital painting that I did. I will put a photo of it here. So yeah, this is from The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and basically I love how I took that little 3D model that Nintendo designed and I made her into how I see her while I'm playing the game. I see her as like this adorable little girl who is going on adventures, and I just wanted to capture that innocence and wonder in her eyes when she's looking at all of Tri's friends that you save in the dungeons. And I wanted to capture the lighting because the lighting is very important in this specific part of the game. But however, I just wish I didn't saturate it so much on her face. I think I put too much lighting on her face. But other than that, I think I had so much fun using the light brush, the light tools in Procreate to basically enhance the lighting, basically to show the light's effect within this artwork. Number 8 is again another Zelda digital painting here, and just taking a closer look at this one, I designed this. It was for Linktober, one of the prompts on one of the days. I can't remember which day it was, but the prompt was dragon. And for those of you who have played Tears of the Kingdom, obviously you know what happens. I'm not really going to explain it. But yeah, I designed Zelda as a dragon for this day. And I love how I did the hair. The hair took so long to do. And honestly, because it took so long to do, I can't find anything that I would do differently, except for trying to find like an easier way to draw hair digitally. But yeah, I took my time with this one. I actually started this like 3 weeks before it was due. So yeah, I got a lot of attention on social media for it. My friends loved it. A lot of people were sharing it. So thank you so much for loving this one. I'm very proud of myself for designing it the way I did. Number 7 is another traditional piece. This is a capybara oil pastel drawing. And I just love capybaras so much. I'm so grateful for all the love this drawing has gotten me on Instagram, and I know you guys love capybaras as much as I do. Yeah, I love how I saturated the oranges. They kind of look like lemons, but I tried to make them as orange as I could. But yeah, I guess capybaras sometimes they have lemons inside the bath as well. Just any citrus fruit, basically. But yeah, Something I wish I did better was maybe starting off with a watercolor base for the background. If you look closely, you can see little white specks. Those are the paper showing through. And if I had that watercolor base, I wouldn't have that problem. However, I learned for next time, of course. So yeah, I'll definitely give that a try and see what it looks like. Number 6 is this massive oil pastel drawing. This was my very first time trying oil pastels back in February or March. And yeah, I decided to go big or go home. So I found a reference for these duckies online. And yeah, I just went ahead and started blending it. I started blending it with my finger and it wasn't looking good. Plus, like, the skin on my finger is really sensitive. So I switched to using a cotton Q-tip and a tissue for like the bigger pieces here. So yeah, again, same with the capybaras, because this is my first time using oil pastels. Like, obviously I didn't know. But yeah, definitely going ahead and using a watercolor base and then going on top of it and using the oil pastels. I think that would benefit me here, especially with the water. You can see how there's like little specks of white showing the paper through. But other than that, look how realistic they look. They look so fluffy and cute. There's a goose in the back. I think that's their mama. Yeah, this one got a lot of love as well on my Instagram. So thank you guys so much. Number 5 is this fall-themed Zelda painting. So I have a thing where I go and play my Zelda Tears of the Kingdom game. I wander around Hyrule and I take some photos. Kind of like pretending Link works for National Geographic and he's like documenting certain areas within Hyrule. But yeah, I captured this beautiful moment where the dragon Dinral was actually flying above this beautiful area in the Akala region. And I thought it was perfect to paint for the fall season, which is what I did. So I used watercolors for most of it. I used gouache for the trees, obviously, to make them very saturated. I used gouache for the dragon because I kind of painted the background first, and then I needed some opaque layer to go on top of that watercolor. It looks exactly like the reference, with my own touch to it, obviously, because I painted each of these leaves kind of differently than the reference. I just didn't like how dark it was. It was kind of like gloomy in the game, so I kind of changed the sky as well. It looks really, really good, and I'm proud of myself for this one. Something I wish I did better was painting the dragon a little smaller. Something I struggle with in painting, especially like using gouache or watercolors, I'm not very good at painting small, tiny details. So that's why I made the dragon a little bit bigger, but now it looks too big. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm the only one that sees that. But in the reference, the dragon was like off in the distance and it was kind of smaller. So I kind of wish that I captured that aspect of it instead of having the dragon so large and like floating across the sky. But it still looks really good. You can tell that that's Dinral, obviously the fire dragon. So yeah. I'm happy with how this one turned out. And thank you guys so much for loving it on my social media. Number 4 is this Lord of the Mountain painting. Again, this is inspired by Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. So for this one, I used multiple references that I found online. I took a photo on Satori Mountain in the game with the cherry blossom trees at night. I used that as a reference, but then I couldn't capture like a good photo of the Lord of the Mountain, so I found a better photo online and I just used that as a reference. So this was one of the earlier paintings I did on my social media. I think I did this back in February or March, early March. No, late February for sure. But yeah, it was a watercolor painting and I kind of used acrylics to go over top of it, just to have that like opaque layer on top of the watercolors. But yeah, something I wish I did better was adding more lighting. You see how much lighting I added in the water and it looks pretty good. I wish I added more lighting for these leaves here, for maybe the tree, the leaves on the tree. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I'm not very good at lighting in paintings. That's what I would do differently for this one. Thank you guys so much for loving this one on my social media. Number 3 is a acrylic painting on a canvas that I don't have with me at the moment, so I'm just gonna put a photo here to show you guys. It is a Tears of the Kingdom sunset painting over a Skyview tower in the skyline. So I took this photo in the game, and I knew I needed to paint it because it looked so beautiful. So I'm actually selling this at my market. That's why I don't have it with me. It is currently in my to sell pile, and I just don't feel like going through that right now. But I just love how accurate it turned out to the reference. And something I wish I did different was maybe painting the clouds a little bit different. I tried to go for sort of like an impressionistic perspective. You can see it in the grass especially, but it didn't work too well for the sky. I just really need to learn how to paint clouds, I guess. But I think it turned out pretty good, and it's decent to sell, so I'm trying to sell that right now. Number 2 is my first ever gouache painting. So my parents got me a gouache set for my birthday, and this is the first time I've ever used it, and I am very impressed with how well I knew how to use it. I watched a bunch of tutorials beforehand. This is another Zelda Tears of the Kingdom screenshot that I painted. It is, I think, Satori Mountain during the day. And I love the cherry blossom trees in the game. I think they're so beautiful. So for this one, I am very impressed with, obviously, my first time doing gouache. And just painting these leaves, they're so beautiful. I'll zoom in a little bit. You can see each time I actually put my brush on the painting, each stroke, you can see each stroke. And it is so beautiful. It turned out so lovely. Speaking of clouds, I did learn how to paint clouds by watching a tutorial using gouache. And so I painted these clouds very beautifully. However, they're all the same. Clouds are different, okay? Clouds are very unique and different, but I just had this issue where I couldn't paint any other shape than this. And yeah, they look good, but I really wish that I used different shapes. Other than that, I think overall it just looks so beautiful, and yeah. Thank you guys so much for your love and support on this one. And finally, my favorite painting that I painted this year, it is this one. It is the Tears of the Kingdom Great Sky Island. Again, I took this photo in the game, and I knew that I wanted to paint it because I've never painted anything with this much yellow in it, and I really wanted to try out painting something different than like green trees, pink trees. So I chose yellow trees, and I can't find anything that I don't like about this one. It just took so much trial and error that by the time I was done with this, I was like, wow, this is the most amazing thing that I've ever painted. So the trees here actually took a lot of like painting, drying, painting another layer, drying, just because I kept accidentally blending too much brown in it, and it kind of looked not as saturated as the trees actually are in the game. So I had to go over that with a lighter layer, and then I thought, oh wow, that's too light. So then I had to find like a middle ground between the lightness and the darkness. So I kind of settled on that. And each time I would paint a layer, I'm kind of dumb. I would go and fix the branches because it would bother me that there's no branches seeing through them. So I kind of painted these branches about 3 or 4 times for each layer that I painted on top of it, which was kind of annoying. But yeah, I trusted the process, and I'm glad that it turned out this good. I used that impressionistic style that I usually paint grass with on the water, because the water had like the reflections of the trees in it. You can see here they have like little bits of yellows and tiny bits of greens in there as well. But yeah, I absolutely love this one, and I definitely want to frame this and hang this up somewhere in my room, just because I just adore it so much. This wasn't part of the reference, but I added some birds in the background too because I thought the sky was kind of plain without clouds. And I'm not going to try and paint clouds because I already know how that was going to end up as I painted them before. So, yeah, I just love it. What are you guys' thoughts on this? Do you like this painting as well? Or do you guys like any of my other paintings better than this one? So I think this one is just so detailed. You can see even in the background here, all these trees that I painted. Oh my goodness. I love it so much. And you guys loved it too on my social media. So thank you guys so much for all your love and support on all these paintings, really. And I painted even more than this. If I was to go through all my paintings that I painted this year, I would probably need like a 50-60 minute video. So I decided to condense it to only talk about 10 paintings that I liked this year. So yeah, even number 10, like, that's not a painting I hate. It's just, it made the list of my top 10, which is really good. Thank you guys so much for an awesome year, and I'm very excited to announce some new things happening in the new year. Hope everyone has a happy and safe Christmas, happy holidays, whatever you celebrate, and of course, Happy New Year, and I wish you guys all the best in 2025. I will be back shortly. I am going to be taking a few weeks of vacation. We're going to be starting a new job in the new year, so I'm not sure how much time I have for like recording videos and stuff like that, but I will try my best, and you guys know me. I never disappointed anyone in terms of my content, so I just hope that you guys will be here on this journey. Thank you guys so much. Please like, comment, subscribe, show your support in any way possible, and I will see you next time. Bye!